you know, get your little swag on, or get.
Yeah.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break, but when we come back to the break, I want you to tell us some of your favorite ones.
Okay.
You can tell us some of your favorite tips out of it. Can you do that for us?
I'll be glad to.
Right.
Be
Now,
glad to.
During the break, make sure you go and grab your computer, go to YouTube, see the other shows, go to Facebook, like us on Facebook. Most importantly, you can also go to our website at goodtwinbadtwintv.com. Make sure you get some of that merchandise because that helps us do what we do.
And we'll be right back with Good Twin, Bad Twin Unleashed.
Tonight's guest is Tony Yarber, motivational speaker, leadership developer, pastor, Jackson City councilman, and author. For more information about MIH, Making It Happen, Man Tips book, speaking, and more, visit www.tonyyarber.com or log on to Facebook and type in Tony Yarber or email tonyyarber@gmail.com or call 769-798-6200. Good Twin, Bad Twin Unleashed, brought to you by In the Mix, a production of Peaches of On Location TV. For more information on Good Twin, Bad Twin Unleashed, go to www.goodtwinbadtwintv.com or log on to Facebook and type in Good Twin, Bad Twin or email goodtwinbadtwin_unleashed@yahoo.com. Good Twin, Bad Twin Unleashed, brought to you by In the Mix, a production of Peaches of On Location TV. Tonight's guest is Tony Yarber, motivational speaker, leadership developer, pastor, Jackson City councilman, and author. For more information about MIH, Making It Happen, Man Tips book, speaking, and more, visit www.tonyyarber.com or log on to Facebook and type in Tony Yarber or email tonyyarber@gmail.com or call 769-798-6200.
Welcome back to Good Twin, Bad Twin Unleashed, where we're your hosts, Alden and Keldon. We're talking today with author Tony Yarber, and we're talking about Man Tips. His new creation, Man Tips. What an awesome book! What an awesome book! Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Go into the break. You were talking about some of the tips. What are some of your favorite ones?
You know, that initial tip that I posted that got it all started, listen to her heart while she's moving her lips, that definitely has to be my favorite one. Okay. And then there's a further on in the book, there's one where I talk about she doesn't want you to be her daddy.
Okay,
you know,
right.
She don't want you to be her daddy. That's not what she's looking for. But she is looking for somebody that who will love her like her daddy would. Okay, right? So she didn't marry you to be her daddy. She married you because she thought that you would be somebody who would take his place once he passed her on to you if you're a traditional thinking guy.
So go into the first one about listening to her heart.
Listening to her heart. Yeah.
So,
I think oftentimes, we can be at home sitting down watching the game or just involved on the laptop or hosting Good Twin, Bad Twin on Facebook. And she comes in and she's having a conversation about something totally unrelated to what you're trying to deal with. Right. And all you hear is yakety yak. Yeah. But actually, in a lot of cases, there's really something that's being said that at the end of the day is going, if you listen, take heed, and do something with it, it'll make for a much more productive and fruitful relationship. So you gotta listen to her heart when she's moving her lips. And just to add to that quickly, sometimes people express themselves different ways, right. And so her assertion that she'll get her brother to fix the car isn't necessarily a jab at you for not knowing how to fix the car.
Right.
It may simply be her, crying out for the fact that she just wants you to be sure that it gets fixed,
or that you paid attention, or
that you noticed that the car was
right. I thought it was something. One of the things you mentioned about is the anticipation, because technically, as the guy, you should have already anticipated there was something wrong. Now you can't
Right.
be there on the side of the road when it break down, but you should have known it was out of gas.
Right. You heard the car tick.
Right,
You know the heads were about to bust. You knew that.
Right.
Now, don't let her be on her way to Cleveland and then she calls you. Yeah.
You gonna drive my car today?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I already put some gas in that car. I got to take yours to the shop.
And that's what Daddy does.
Right.
You know, that's what,
we
that's,
might
that's the
can't
love
fix
of
it. We
Daddy.
might can't
Right.
fix it, but this is what my plan is, or this is what it is, or this is what my answer is.
Or she get into the car. She knows she ain't had no gas in the car, but you got up last night, turned the ignition to make sure, drove it, got some gas, so when she on the way to work.
See, I already see what's happening here. There's a part 2 to this book that's brewing that I'm gonna have some co-authors with. But it's good stuff.
Right,
and again, it's an easy read. The book is a very easy read. You know, not 300-400 pages.
Right.
But ultimately, once you're done thinking about and thinking your way through the book, then you know your ad lib in terms of how you live that book out at your house or with your lady. At the end of the day, it will be your own 300-page book.
Now, how do you capture that? You talked about the ad-libbed or internalizing the book. In the book, there's a way that you do that, isn't it?
Right, yeah. At the end of every tip or at the end of every chapter, there's this place where we ask for these, we give you a chance to do these manly reflections.
Okay.
So in the manly reflections, you're able to consider everything that I talked about in the chapter, and then you get a chance to reflect, consider how you will make certain changes, how you'll make some adaptations to include what I talked about, or to build upon what I talked about. So what the idea is that everybody has a chance to do some self-reflecting once they've finished each chapter.
All right. I would say that, of course, we had a chance to have several conversations, and one of the last time we were meeting, it's almost like the prayer breakfast. You got real, deep into the why, and even when you talked about you and your wife having to go to counseling and then sit across to say, I had to look at us and say, am I doing these things? Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, just from a spiritual point of view, personally, I think that every marriage that makes it when a man decides that he's going to take responsibility for the marriage. There is no reason in the world why your wife or why your woman should be responsible for making the marriage work. I'll say it again. Yeah. There is no reason in the world. There is no reason in the world why your wife or your woman should be responsible for making the marriage work. And for so long, that's what has happened. And so I take that very seriously. I think to the point of the breakfast that morning, men and our role that we play in the house, whether it's with, simply with our wives or with our significant other, or if it's with our sons, that role is important because it takes a great deal of modeling. And as that modeling is happening, you can't just talk man tips. You got to model man tips.
Right.
You can't just, and that makes me think about there's another tip where I talk about you've got to be a presence as well as present. Right. So you got to be a presence in your house. You got to be a presence in the life of your son. You got to be a presence in the life of your lady, and not just being present.
Okay. Yeah, there's another tip in there in the book also where you talk about raising a man raising a child. You also deal with a a lot of things. The thing that really strikes me is Cal and I, we're not perfect. You're not perfect. The book is not talking about perfection. The book is not. You're not coming from a point where you're saying men should be perfect or there's no bashing. That's the thing that I really
and I think I speak from a place where there's really not a lot you're gonna tell me about your marriage that I hadn't experienced in mine. So if you're gonna talk about infidelity, I'm gonna tell you, been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and came over the hump at the end of the day. So I'm not talking to you from this position of somebody who's been cured of all, but I'm talking to you from a position of somebody who's scraping the bottom of the barrel, trying to get out of it, just like you. And I found some ways to make it over that hump.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, but is there a way people can contact you to get copies of the book, or how's that?
Absolutely. You can contact me on Facebook. It's Tony Yarber. YARB as in boy, ER. Just hit me up on Facebook. Also, the website, TonyYarber.com.
Okay.
TonyYarber.com, as well as my Facebook. So those are those general ways. And you can also email me at TonyYarber@gmail.com.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're saying that, and we appreciate you for coming to the show today.
And
Thank you for coming.
And we'll have those posted at the end of the show, so that if you didn't catch that, you can catch it at the end of the show and write it down, because you need to get the book. It's a great read, a small read.
Oh, I didn't know. That's all we have for today. That's all the time we got. So thank you, man. We appreciate you coming.
Man, thank y'all for having me here, and give me back when y'all blow up.
We will. Thanks for supporting us.
Thank you guys for supporting us too, and come back in here for another episode of Good Twin, Bad Twin Unleashed.
I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in, for my Lord, for my Lord, for my Lord. I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in.